You are now a criminal.
Apparently, according to some. So, yeah, I thought I'd share the story because it's interesting. So, I'm doing a planning application for a house which will hopefully be a forever home one day. So, building our own place. The backstory is it's an already consented site that I got the planning on, but then pivoted and were planning to build it for myself. So I wanted to make some significant changes. So this new application has got some changes. Not loads, to be fair. The envelope of the building is exactly the same within reason, but I've just changed a lot of design features to cater for me personally. Well, me and the family. And the application kept getting delayed and delayed and pushed back and pushed back. The tree officer, which is in question, had already approved, basically recommended for approval. And then last knockings, I get a new web comment, which is like the obviously when you do a planning application, it goes to local and relevant consultants. So relevant consultants within the council or advisories, and then obviously local people, which is fine. And the opening comment was, since I commented on the previous application, it has now come to light via this amended application that the applicant has taken it upon themselves to remove T1 and T2 trees without seeking permission from the council.
Oh no.
Despite these trees being to a tree preservation order, this constitutes a criminal offence, and the council will therefore be considering what action to take in light of the contravention.
You bad boy. Such a bad boy, Jack.
And obviously, you read that and you're like, "Oh shit, got to unpick this one." He's correct in the matter that the two trees that had a tree preservation order have been removed, but I felt I had good grounds to argue. And in all fairness to this tree officer, I pinged him quite a firm email uh, showing my evidence of why I believed that they could have been removed. And he basically rang me back straight away. He actually called me while I was on the phone while I was in a meeting with investors. And I literally had to say, can you just, can we pause this, go grab a coffee? Because I want to deal with this immediately. My architect, because it was a legacy architect, so I wasn't using Aura, was literally shitting himself. He was like, I've never seen anything like it. The way it actually transpired is, and it's quite comical the way it unfolded. And I do hold my hands up and say kudos to the tree officer for ringing me, because he could have left it to
Tree
unwind by,
officer. Listen to what you're saying. Tree officer.
mate, someone's got to office those trees.
It's fucking
Have
wild.
you ever walked around the UK thinking someone's got this under control? That tree
Look,
is, I tell
look,
you
I
what,
understand. A tree conservationist, I'm all for. A tree officer is an authority. There's an absolute fucking stupidity. Like it is just so mental. If you said to civilization 100 years ago, imagine like 200 years ago, a fucking tree officer is going to come around and arrest you. Like it's so funny, like how stupid the world has become. Sorry, mate.
it's so funny. Before I put my head into the detail to like basically litigate this issue just between us and obviously the council, I told my wife, and she was like a little bit worried and like, oh God, don't want Jack going to prison for cutting down a few trees.
On your land,
Yeah,
on your fucking land.
it was funny. And then my wife spoke to my mum, and it's just so like completely summarizes my mum. My mum's response was, "Well, it's good that's the only thing they're concerned about." I was like, "What? That is not a good thing. The only thing they can put me in jail for there is what they're worried about." But anyway, so to unfold the story, this tree officer rings me. The coincidental slip up, I would say, or thing that was missed, is in the previous application. We proposed removing those two trees and planting loads of new trees. The previous application, I discharged all the conditions to the point of starting the work. So technically, I can do what I need to do on that application. The removal of the two trees was consented, but technically that isn't then applicable to remove those trees until you've discharged the conditions, and it actually falls in suit for if the conditions are the trees are removed last. then I would have been erring on the side of danger. But I discharged all the conditions. I removed the trees, planted new, and showed all the evidence from the previous application. One thing I was really confused about, I was like, how the did he know? Like, he can't get in that site. It's secure. Like, unless he eyeballed it from the road, but it's quite deep in the site. But anyway, I then showed him an amended plan. Basically, what happened is that our tree arboriculturalist that submitted the proposed plans had drawn up the scheme, and rather than go back to them and then charge me £1,000 to remove the trees from the drawing, I did a little summary key section on the right hand side myself. So I overlaid it on their drawings, which I got their consent to do, because I didn't think we needed to go back to the DWG files and edit all of them. And I basically made a key and I just draw arrows. I was like, remove, remove, keep, and like coded them to the right trees and blah, blah, blah. And I said to the tree officer, if you pull up that drawing, which was submitted in November 2020, and look on the right-hand side of the key, it says there that they're to be removed quite clearly. And he was like, oh, yeah, it does. Okay, fine. Sorry, my mistake. And that was it.
Literally, his one job as the tree officer is to be right. His one job. Be right, mate. And he's not even right. He's just throwing around accusations and wanted to arrest people for cutting down trees.
It was a little bit frustrating for their first port of call to be.
Fucking hate these people, man.
Like, realistically, the old school ways of planning is, in that scenario, the tree officer would have just called me, been like, shit, I think he's removed 2 trees he shouldn't have here. I'll ring Jack and have a chat with him. And then I would have been like, oh no, that's part of the old application. Look at this drawing. Cool. But for me, like, it's like almost like character defamation, like accusations of criminal offences online. I know I'm sharing it on a public portal of YouTube, but I've obviously explained the rebuttal.
You're making him out to be a dickhead now, so.
No, I'm not. I've not said that.
He is a dickhead. I'd say he's a dickhead.
Couldn't see the wood between the trees. We got him all day long. He's tremendous. What else we got? He was barking up the wrong tree. But he,
cool.
and I suppose this sort of amplifies the problem around planning. Like, back in the day, you could do a pre-app in 20 days. You could get on site, speak to people, really see the whites of their eyes and agree something logical that was easy. It made it all of the steps later on. We've just had a second planning application on one of our sites for 2 new build houses rejected. We submitted it. It was rejected. We took it to appeal. It was rejected. We submitted again. And rather than saying, if you tweak these designs, they just rejected it. But they said that in the decision notice. So we've now got to go through the whole process again, which they know we're going to do, because we've already done 3 attempts at this, to appease their points and get it done. So,
mate, it's like I was saying to you earlier, I know someone who's going for a big application to build all these brand new apartments on a defunct commercial site. It's taken ages through planning so far anyway. And now at this point, they're stopping things and the planners are going, we need a dust survey. And I'm just like, a fucking dust survey. A dust survey. Like, it just, the legislation is stupid when it just sounds so fucking stupid. Like, a dust survey. Now, for the layman, you might also be thinking, this is like the layman to property development. You may be thinking, that does sound really stupid. It is really stupid. There is a genuine issue of dust on site where, obviously, if you're not careful of how much dust you're mitigating into the atmosphere, then you could stick dust all over someone's house if you're cutting down concrete and trees and whatever. So it's a fair point that you should get a dust survey to make sure you're being reasonable, but it should not be stopping 40 apartments from being built for months on end because you need a dust survey. Like, our planning system is just so stupid. The legislators, the government, the whole thing needs to be burnt to the ground.
I hope you're enjoying the episode. We'll be back to it in just a second. If you are a property developer, property investor, property professional, architect, contractor, and want to do deals like these, head over to the link in our description where you can find out more information about the Ground Up Network, which is a community to support business growth all the way from zero to hero.
do you know how they do a dust survey?
Go on, please tell me. It must be
They come
hard.
to site and go, good morning. Oh, this is a lovely site. And then they, I've got to go like this. Got to go like this. You just go like this. Yep, that's pretty dusty.
That's pretty dusty, boys. I think you should hoover that.
Yeah. You know what we should do with the dust surveyors? Just pick up a bit of fabric, crack it in front of them, and be like, "Does that smell like asbestos to you?"
Honestly, I just
we
can't
lose thread
believe
when
it,
it's someone else on the call, don't we?
mate. We have lost our way. You got the two naughty ones as well. So like,
Imagine like my daughter bringing a bloke home and being like, "So
it's a dust surveyor.
yeah, so Dustin, so what do you do?" I'm actually a surveyor. Oh, cool, nice. We have surveyors that work in our business. What do you have a particular specialism? Yeah, dust actually.
No,
Cool.
stop it. Really?
Dustin the dust surveyor.
It's too early for this shit. Fucking hell. It's so stupid. I just can't believe it. And the costs of these things is crazy. Just
Imagine living with a geezer. Imagine pulling out the sofa and him going, "Oh,
Fuck
we've
it,
got to leave. We've got to leave."
get a survey done. Mate, honestly though. But like,
You wait till I tell everyone in the office about this. I knew this would happen when you pulled out that sofa to hoover it.
honestly though, like, because what makes this so funny is that the average person that isn't in property development doesn't understand it, thinks that we're really greedy and make all this money, and they've got no idea about the tripes and bullshit of this sector. And we've talked about a tree officer trying to prosecute you who couldn't read a report in the first place, and then a dust surveyor holding up 40 apartments. Like, that's the problem. That's why it's so expensive, because all of these things are time, costs, delays, complexities. It's just so unnecessary. Like, sites should just be to me, if you own the land and you want to cut down some trees, except for certain particular trees like a sequoia or a great British oak, like those sort of trees, yeah, maybe there should be a local discussion with neighbors, people who are immediately impacted by the removal of that tree. They should be spoken with. But the idea that there's surveyors that can prosecute you and fine you and all this shit for cutting down trees on your own land, when literally that is what we did for millennia to be able to build our homes and fuel our fireplaces and give us energy and all that kind of shit. And you look at what happens in all kinds of other countries where they're cutting down trees like as an industry, and then we're preventing our whole built environment because of trees. It's so broken, man. Like, at some point the system's got to crack. Like, it's just got to.
We talked about it probably about 40 episodes ago, the whole railway line of, what's it called? HS2?
HS2. Yeah, oh, mate,
Yeah,
fucking bat tunnel.
Yeah, we talked about their bat tunnel, which is so the average property price in the UK is £300,000. And I'm saying this if you haven't seen that episode. The average property price in the UK is £300,000. HS2 is going through basically a woodland that has 72 bats, I think, within this woodland. And we're not removing the whole woodland, we're removing a channel of it. And the ecologists of the world have decided to build a bat tunnel, which is costing £300,000 per bat.
£100 million tunnel.
Yeah, so we're housing bats over people.
Yeah, and bear in mind, there's still woodland. They could still go and fucking live in the woods.
Oh yeah, most of them live in house roofs, which is why again there's a problem with. Back in my roofing days, you'd always find dead bats. We actually used to do a little trick where, when you're a roofer, you have a nail pouch. You only really need 2 tools. You don't need a brain. You need a hammer and a nail. But what we used to do with the dead bats is put them in other people's pouches. So when they're reaching for another nail, they pull out a dead bat. It's a good trick, that one.
That is good. I like that. But I mean, yeah, anyway, like, we could go on forever about complaining about planning, so let's not go there. Instead, let's complain about the economy.
Sure, so I haven't got another criminal offence looming. The bat was already dead when we did that trick.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be explicitly clear on
We're
that.
not going around killing bats for jokes, all right?
Yeah. And we always washed our hands on site.
HSC. Fucking hell, mate. It's just wild.